News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. I'm Nick Barris. It's Thursday, and we are going to talk health care this morning. We're going to talk open enrollment for the Affordable Care Act. Yeah, it starts November 1st, and I know many of you maybe who are on it maybe have questions about re-enrollment or whether there's better plans out there. Many of you who maybe aren't on it are thinking of going that way. And frankly, there are just maybe some of you out there, regardless of what kind of health care plan you have, wonder really what happened with all this, because we know politicians were talking about it. Where we stand right now on all this, we're going to be able to answer questions, but really specifically this morning, those of you who maybe need some help or have some questions about the process now with open enrollment about to start, this is your chance to get some help right here and now. We're going to open up the phone lines, 737-7587, if you want to ask along those lines, because we've got a great panel of guests this morning to answer what we can for you. So let's introduce them to you. Both of them are certified marketplace navigators. That's pretty darn cool. Sharon Barker, hi.
Hi.
Tracy Zander, hi.
Hi.
You guys are navigators. Let folks know what the Navigator does and how it was set up that you two exist.
Sure. So the Affordable Care Act did make provisions for help people to get in-person assistance in trying to navigate the marketplace. And so as a certified navigator, what we do, I like to think of us as kind of like a personal shopper.
Like it.
Yeah, so we help you to shop the marketplace, all those plans that are in the marketplace, help you to decide, what's best for me? Look at this plan. Is this a good deductible as far as, my personal situation, or I'm having this type of medication that I need, or I need this particular doctor, or what insurance companies are out there, and what is a deductible, and what is a copay. And so we help people to understand all of the insurance literacy, that goes with.
Meaning you could do it yourself without a navigator if you chose to. But I think especially for first timers or some that need help, I think it's just fantastic. I wish there was someone like you for everything. That just helps you go through some of the paperwork, the process, and maybe navigate right and find the best plan that suits you. Correct?
Right. And what we're not going to do is look at plans and say, we think this is the best plan out there.
Yeah, we're not going to do
just offer it up.
Right. We're going to look at the doctors that you want to stay and network with. We want to see the procedures maybe you want done and make sure everything that you need is covered.
Okay. So meaning, for instance, you will look at an individual and look at what their needs are.
Sure.
And then you can look at their plan that they were on last year and say, well, these are these other ones out there. But you're not promoting anything specific.
Not promoting
You're not being paid by any specific. By the way, how does it work? You guys are paid federal dollars?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do people locate or contact you? Just how do they go about finding the navigator? They just find that when they go on to.
They can go to healthcare.gov and find in-person assistance there. We also have a hotline number that they can call.
We'll get those up at the end of the show as well. We'll make sure to pass all of that on. Well, we've got the lines open and we'll take those calls, but I guess let's just hit on real important now. November 1st is when open enrollment begins, and you were telling me when you sat down, one reason we were doing the show is the budget for advertising was kind of cut.
Yes.
Okay, so the enrollment period's shorter and there's not as much notice about it, correct?
That's correct.
All right.
So 90% reduction in advertising.
All right. So now, many people maybe last year was the enrollment starting on November 1st as well, and it went for 2 months.
It did. So November 1 through
December
December the 15th was that time you wanted to enroll so that your coverage would start January 1st last year. However, and then you still could enroll after December 15th last year. We went all the way to January 31st.
Okay, not this time.
Not this time.
Now you just have until the 15th.
Just those 45 days from November 1 to December 15. If you don't get in those days, that door closes and it will be closed.
So you're out.
You will be out of enrolling for 2018 coverage unless you have a special enrollment circumstance that would qualify that door to open again for you. And those circumstances can be limited. Having a baby, moving to the state, a permanent move, gaining
losing employer coverage, changing immigration status.
I see. So now if there's an individual out there that was on it last year and they don't, and they miss this spot, I mean, does it just roll over with what they have, or do you have to go each year and redo? Or at least if you're happy with what you have, you still have to go in there and re-up with them.
Sure. The good thing is, you may like what you had last year, and then the insurance company may have sent you a notice, like if you had Cigna. They sent you a notice and said, this is what you had, if you want to continue with this, you can. But we don't recommend that. because new plans came on the marketplace this year in Tennessee, Oscar. So if you chose not to come back in and re-enroll, then you wouldn't see those new Oscar plans out there that you may find more palatable for you.
Okay.
And on top of that, Humana is no longer in the marketplace this year for Tennessee.
Okay, so there were people on Humana who were going to have to find something new.
So they got letters that said,
and so those people definitely have to
come back.
I see. So, but I think you guys make a great point that even if you were happy with what you had last year, and that's great, maybe you'll stay with it, but you're saying there could be new plans out there that might even be more closely suited to exactly what you need.
And on top of that, just information that changes in a family circumstance, like if income goes up, we want people to update on that on their marketplace application, because that can impact the amount of money they receive for financial help.
I've got you. And again, anyone can go to the marketplace. Okay, I have insurance through Channel 5. But if I want, can I do it?
You won't get any help paying for it because the marketplace
I won't get any help. Well, I won't get any help. But if I wanted to and pay for it myself and figured I could find a plan that would be less expensive than what I'm paying here, I can do it.
Yes.
As long as I'm paying out of my own pocket.
You have to have an eligible immigration status, however.
What? Meaning?
So either you're a U.S. citizen.
I am a U.S. citizen, silly. I could do it. I could do it then, right?
You could, yes.
Okay, now does anyone do that?
No, because your job-based coverage, most people get their coverage through their job.
Well, I do, but I pay for it.
Yeah, but you know, the marketplace was set up really designed for those people that don't have another option of finding coverage.
But they get help too, though, don't they?
Which people?
The people who don't have other options. Well, it depends on what their income is.
It depends on what your income is. So if you're between 100% and 400% of the federal poverty level limit, then you're eligible for the financial assistance, but you're not eligible for the cost share reduction if you're over 250% of the federal poverty level limit. So if you have an offer of coverage from a job or something, then if you come to the marketplace and look at it, it's not like it's designed for you to just say, hey, I don't want the job, I want this. Really, you want to take the job coverage if it's affordable for you.
And it should be noted that what the government considers affordable for employer coverage is about 9.5% of income. So if you have an offer from your employer that's very high, monthly premiums are a large percentage of your paycheck, then that could qualify you to go on the marketplace and get subsidies for paying for coverage.
Okay, all right. And the plans out there, again, just so we're clear for folks maybe who are wondering, because there was discussion, in Congress about changing, and we know what President Trump was looking at, but there really wasn't any significant changes. Obviously, the health care reform never happened.
Not that will affect consumers directly.
Okay, so still, pre-existing conditions, you can get coverage.
Yes,
want to make sure that's still out there. Any other radical changes from last year people might need to be aware of, aside from, I guess, the premiums have gone up?
The premiums went up, and that in part is due to those cost share reduction payments not being made to the insurers.
Right.
And also, there was a great article in the Tennessean this week that I thought was good, and it highlighted the fact that Tennesseans are like one of the most sicker enrollee categories in the country other than Arkansas, and that kind of makes a lot of insurers not want to come into this marketplace, because it's a lot of sick people here that would need this coverage. And so when you don't have a lot of choice and a lot of competition, of course prices can escalate. So the cost share reductions not being funded is a part of that premium.
Okay, and again, with the new plans, you said there's some new ones that have come on, some have dropped, like you said, Humana's gone, but are you still going to be able to find plenty of doctors that will accept this insurance in general? I'm just wondering. I've seen cases. Last year I had a bad cold, and I had to go to one of these walk-in clinics because my doctor wasn't around. It was the weekend, and I remember sitting there. My insurance at the station was fine. Some poor guy came in, and he was coughing up a lung, and he went in and he gave his card, but they didn't take it, and it was through the marketplace, and he walked out. He was angry about it. But again, that was a walk-in clinic. I'm just wondering, are there going to be enough doctors that accept it?
So the good thing about this year is that Cigna has announced that they're accepting now Vanderbilt to be a network. So last year Vanderbilt was not a network with any of the marketplace plans, but Cigna now has Vanderbilt. And of course, we'll, when we do the enrollment with individuals, we'll go through the plans and make sure if they have an existing physician that they stay in network with that physician.
To see if they can stay, and yeah, you'll look at where they live and what, and if they're getting started, maybe they don't have a physician, then you find some near them that fit the plan.
Right, and every plan
that's great.
Listed that's on the marketplace this year in Middle Tennessee does have minute clinics or urgent care centers in network.
Okay, great. Listen,
and that in-network is important because there are no out-of-network benefits.
So you have to know about in-network and go where
yes,
you're supposed to.
Absolutely.
Right. Listen, we'll take a break on that note. You guys are great. We've got the lines open. We already have half the lines full, but we have some more open. The rest of the show, if the calls come in, we'll take and try to answer your questions, help you go through. You can bring up your scenario if you want and throw it at them, and maybe just in a quick phone call, they can give you an idea of where to start. So if you have questions about Affordable Care Act, open enrollment starting November 1st, this is for you. We'll be right back after this.